look a little... Yes, I hear it's going around.
Bless you.
Because nothing says Star Trek like watching one Starfleet officer sneeze on another. This is TJR. Over the weekend, we got our Season 2 trailers for both Star Trek Discovery and what I refer to as the Star Trek homage series, The Orville. I was struck by some of the similarities between these two trailers. Both start with a human voiceover from the show's respective main character. So let's take a look at the messages that are delivered in each trailer's opening narrative. The Discovery has series main character Michael Burnham stating,
"We have always looked to the stars to discover who we are. And hidden there was a message. A secret made of space and time. Visible only to those open enough to receive it."
The Orville also starts with a speech, and it's delivered by series character Ed Mercer, and it goes as follows.
In the vast emptiness of the universe, we have found a fullness of cultural diversity. And when a first contact unfolds, the cosmos becomes a living, breathing organism. And we become a way for the universe to know itself.
The Discovery speech is cryptic and feels deliberately vague and designed to intrigue the viewer with a sense of mystery as to what character Michael Burnham might be talking about, and if it's giving us clues as to what Season 2 might have in store for us. The Orville speech, however, on the other hand, isn't cryptic at all. It's a very hopeful speech espousing the values of diversity in the galaxy and the excitement and the possibilities of first contact with a new species.
Wow, that was pretty good.
Yeah, thanks. I plagiarized it like 9 different things.
Of course, it then laughs at itself as Ed Mercer states that he plagiarized the speech from several sources. This is The Orville, of course, an homage to Star Trek, where the use of offbeat, self-defacing comedy is necessary in order to keep Paramount CBS from suing them. And I guess that's another reason why they don't use transporters in the show. But here's the thing. The character, Ed Mercer, is fictional. And so he didn't really plagiarize anything. The speech is written by one of the writers, most probably Seth MacFarlane. I guess what I'm trying to say is, just because the show's characters make light of an inspiring speech doesn't mean that the show itself and the people behind it don't 100% believe in what that speech stands for. And I'm going to guess that's true. Star Trek has been, since its beginning, a series about accepting differences and embracing diversity, or as Spock would put it, infinite diversity in infinite combinations. And creator Seth MacFarlane is a huge Star Trek fan, and this show is his love letter to everything that Star Trek has ever stood for. So to sum up the opening narratives on both these trailers, the opening for Discovery is saying, "We're mysterious, we're cryptic. Watch and find out why." That might work with me with a different series, but given the fact that the first 3 episodes of Season 1 didn't compel me enough to want to continue with it, being cryptic is not winning me over. And I realize this is just my personal prejudice about the show. However, the opening narrative of the Orville trailer reaffirms a continuing mission statement that was delivered to us with Season 1. Star Trek Discovery is being vague, the Orville is being affirmative. So then we get the usual montage of clips, bits of dialogue, moments of action and comedy, and some human drama. Now, the Discovery trailer lets us know that Captain Pike is going to take command of the Discovery. There is some imminent threat on the horizon, and this is why. It also hints at the fact that Spock may be somehow linked, and so, once again, hey, Spock, we might see him this season. You need to watch, is what I kind of got from that. That being said, there were some moments of action and comedy that I actually did enjoy in the trailer. Now, the Orville trailer shows us a lot of the same, but there's a bit more, I felt, human drama mixed in with those clips of comedy and action, but also there are scenes of the Orville series doing something that the Discovery trailer doesn't show us. It shows the crew of the Orville exploring new worlds. Discovery trailer, there's a threat. We have to go fight it. Orville trailer, we're exploring strange new worlds and new civilizations. Now I want to just talk about the choice of music. Star Trek Discovery uses the Lenny Kravitz song, I Want to Fly Away. Now, they just used the actual song, they tossed it in there, it's just there as background. I'm going to sound like a hypocrite right now saying it just wasn't working for me. It just felt, what's the word I'm looking for? It just felt calculated. And once again, you're probably going to say to me, TJ, you're being a hypocrite. After all, the Orville trailer used All Right Now by Free. But I want to go back to the point that it used an instrumental version. And when it starts, we just get the chords on piano slowly building. And then we have the music. We have no lyrics except for the title sung. That's it. And this is a somewhat more, for lack of a better term, orchestral version of the music. It's, by orchestral, I mean they're using keyboard strings, but it's more string oriented, even if it's synth string oriented. And they're using the way the chords build during that song's chorus to give this sort of uplifting feel. And I guess because of the way they use it, I feel like the Orville gets to eat its cake, basically. It gets to have its cake and eat it too. It's using a rock song, a classic rock song, and I think it gets away with it a little bit more because it's not Star Trek, number one. And number two, it's once again using an instrumental version that is more orchestral sounding. Yes, I know Star Trek Beyond used Sabotage in its trailer, and I remember initially I didn't like the use of that in the trailer. Of course, I didn't like the whole trailer because it just looked like a dumb action movie. I was very surprised. It was much more Star Trek than I expected it to be, and I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. And also, that song ended up being a key pivotal thing within the plot of the movie, so it worked because it was a plot point. And one last thing about the choice of music in these trailers before I move on, and before you call me an old school Star Trek fan, which would be true, I am. Having rock music in a Star Trek trailer doesn't kill it for me by any stretch of the imagination, and this certainly wasn't what killed it for me with this trailer. I just feel that Orville made better choices in how it chose to use rock music in its trailer than Star Trek Discovery did. So now I just want to move on and just discuss how each trailer ended. The last image we get in the Orville trailer is this.
On behalf of the Planetary Union, welcome to the galaxy.
The last image we get in the Star Trek Discovery trailer is this.
Bless you.
You know, if you look at the Orville trailer very carefully, there is actually this brief little snippet where you see someone do one of those things where they go on somebody like that. It's probably a comic moment, you know, where someone says something shocking that makes them spit out what's in their mouth. But it's just a quick little snippet, you know, compressed between all this other stuff. The Orville trailer doesn't linger on it like it's an important thing, whereas the Discovery trailer decides to just focus on this and make this the big focus of the ending of their trailer. Like, here's the last thing we want to leave you with. Here's what really shows that we're Star Trek. We're going to show an alien crew member sneezing on another alien crew member, and it's going to be gross because, you know, that's Star Trek. Once again, every time I watch this trailer and get to the end, I keep wondering, what were they thinking? Why would you want to make this so prominent, and the final image you get from your trailer. And all I can keep thinking is that it was just a really poorly thought out marketing decision. Someone at Paramount CBS Marketing said, well, let's grab those fans that are preferring Orville to Star Trek Discovery by having some toilet humor because, Orville was created by Seth MacFarlane, so let's have some Family Guy style humor at the end. When I started this video, I said I'm not going to rehash all the reasons why I stopped watching Star Trek Discovery after just 3 episodes. But I feel like I have to put this all in context. The Star Trek Discovery show, it looks like the J.J. Abrams universe movies, like it's set in that universe. But it's not. We're told it's taking place in the original Star Trek series universe. And I thought this was insulting to tell the fans this because clearly they want to have their cake and eat it too. They want to appeal to the fans that came into Star Trek with the J.J. Abrams films, so they're going to make it look like those films. But then they're going to tell us, well, it's original continuity, even though it doesn't really fit in at all. The prime example for me being that in the 3rd episode, I believe it was, we find out that the Michael Burnham character is Spock's adopted sister. And whenever in Star Trek did Spock ever let us know that he had an adopted human sister? I mean, I'm sure you can find ways to explain that, but for me, it felt like the show had already jumped the shark at that point. And I've said this before, I would have been fine with Discovery with all of this inconsistency, if they just said this is either the Abrams universe of Star Trek or this is an alternate universe version of Star Trek. I'd be fine if they'd say that, but I really felt like they just thought Star Trek fans, the longtime fans, that we're just dumb. And if we tell you it's set in the original series universe, you'll believe it, even though it clearly isn't. And I just found that insulting. That and the show jumped the shark in 3 episodes. I personally feel that Orville honors Star Trek. But my basic feeling so far about Star Trek Discovery is that it's a cash grab. It's an attempt to cash in on the fans. And mostly, it's just a ploy. It's just leverage by CBS Paramount to get a loyal fan base to make their worthless streaming service somehow viable. And this is why I've largely discouraged people from signing up for it. Unless you really like the show. And if you like the show, hey, that's your business, fine, more power to you. I know there are going to be people who say, well, you should finish the show before you should judge it, and you're probably right. But I've listened to a lot of critics whose opinions I respect on the internet who did watch the whole show, and I have a feeling that when I'm done watching it, I'm going to come to the conclusion that a lot of the critics that I respect came to, which is this show is fine if you don't think of it as Star Trek, if you just think of it as a generic sci-fi show, because it's not Star Trek. But life is too short, and I don't want to really waste that much time with a generic sci-fi action-adventure show. And as much as I still want to try to be positive about Discovery, I'm just not going to pay for that service. So that's my breakdown analysis of the Season 2 trailers for Star Trek Discovery and the Orville. What do you think? Do you agree with me? Do you think I'm full of it? Let me know in the comments, where you can call me an old-school Star Trek fanboy if you wish. I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to say. As always, if you like what I do, please click subscribe, but also be sure to click that bell notification so you can know when I release new videos. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.